Well, good evening, guys. We're going to start the night off by doing a little icebreaker. So, why don't you guys go around your tables tonight and talk about a time you guys gave up on something. I know it's right around New Year's, so maybe you already gave up on a diet plan or a exercise plan, or maybe a job you quit, maybe even a friendship or possibly a marriage. So you guys just go around the table and you guys talk, and we'll come back and share a story with you. Here you go, buddy. What Jared didn't share with you is Jared's ran Hellgate before, and he's actually ran 20 ultra marathons in his time. So really experienced. 17. Let's get it correct. So anyways, the picture that we're going to display here is kind of what does it look like, to have an experienced person in your life, and then what does it look like, when you're just really getting started in something. And we saw an amazing parallel of this in our walk with God, and that's kind of what we want to share tonight. Is really what is happening amongst us and what God's doing in our lives, and to really kind of show you guys kind of what that looked like for us when we thought about this run. Excuse me. There's two runners in this. There's the inexperienced one, and then there's the experienced one. And the new Christ follower, the idea here is, don't just lay out on the trail. We need to reach out. I had several people pass me by. I should have probably just reached out to one of them to grab me, but they didn't know better. So, I don't really fault them for that. But, when you guys are in these places and you're in these situations where you have given up, the only way anybody's going to know is if you reach out to them. And if you do lay there, somebody might come up on you. But for me, I was just fortunate. Jared was already on his way. The next thing we share is spending time in community. What we do here on Monday nights is huge. I mean, the opportunity that we have. Excuse me one second. Dehydrated. Need a drink. The opportunity that we have to share with one another, and to do this together. I think about, this journey that I've been on in this running, and this opportunity that I've had to fellowship with these other guys, and, the fact that we get to run alongside each other and to do that together. See, Jared didn't share this with you, but he was going to run the last 20 miles with me. I mean, that was the plan all week. And the idea there was that he would help me at the most difficult part of the race. But, I wouldn't be here talking right now if that was the case. God had other plans. And, in fact, Jared actually came back to kind of catch the tail end of the race. And then when he heard that I went down, he immediately came out to me. So spend time in community. And, prayer. As I think about Jared talking about how he was praying for me, guys, when we're in these places, and I guess the picture I'm really trying to paint is when we've given up, the last thing you want to do is pray. The last thing you want to do is reach out. And when I say that, it's not that we don't want to reach out to our brothers or we don't want to talk to God. We want to do all the things, but the evil one is trying to convince us otherwise. And we get into these dark places, and we get to a place where we just feel like we've got nothing left. So that's what our brothers are here for. Pick up a phone and call somebody and say, hey, I got nothing, but I'd just like to pray with you. And let us build up your faith. I mean, I think about Jared as he told me just to watch his feet. I didn't even look up at the mountain. As we're going up that hill, the people that actually were helping me, we ended up passing them, and I said to Jared, I said, we can't pass them. I said, they helped me for like a half mile, as I stumbled through the trail. But Jared said, don't worry about that. We're going to keep going. But, I was just following his feet, and his faith was just carrying me up that hill. The last part, and what I think is probably the most important thing, I don't run ultra marathons to win. I'm not going to place in the top 10. I wasn't gifted with some of the abilities that Frank and Jared have. I mean, these guys are good runners, and they'll be the first ones to tell you they're not interested in it either. But there's something to be said about the people that I was back with, the back of the packers, so to speak. They're just hoping to finish the race. They're just hoping they can get there in the time limit. And you know, in the time when I really needed to push through and I didn't have anybody around, I went down. But you know, you guys think about this journey with God. I mean, we can all just get to the finish line. We can just hope to get there. You know, we can all kind of trail back and hope we can get there and God will be pleased. But wouldn't it be amazing to watch a bunch of guys just running as hard as they can together, carrying each other to that finish line? And that's what God is looking for, you know, in this journey for us, is to not just finish the race, but to win it. The last part is the, Jared, you want to? Now, you know, the fact is that, you know, you guys sitting here, we could be either one of these. And, you know, and we've lost some of that because I actually was running yesterday and I put my wet clothes in the back and smeared that. So I'm just realizing that now. I wouldn't have brought it like that. But the first one is what Jared did, is go to your brother. This is for you guys that have little brothers in your life that you haven't seen here. You know, if you guys have been coming, and you know, it is getting crowded, and we're getting ready to split up, so there will be a little bit more, I guess, room to move around and to see things. But if you guys haven't seen your brother in a couple weeks, call him, text him. If he doesn't answer, go to his house, knock on the door. If he doesn't answer, go through the door. But find out where they're at, you know, because just like Jared, when he heard that I was down, I mean, he didn't hesitate. He just immediately went out. And I'll tell you, everything changed when I saw him running down that trail. Which you can't see there, but I'm sure you can figure it out. It's to feed your brother. Jared knew, based on his experience with running, that the last thing you can do in an ultra marathon is to stop running and drinking. He knew that. Maybe I knew that in the first half of the race, but I wasn't experienced enough to know to carry that through the end of the race. And you know, guys, when you think about this relationship that you have with your brothers, how many times do you see where, you know, maybe some time spent with them, and maybe just that time is what they need, but maybe prayer, maybe just spending time in the Word, but just to feed them, whether it's community, prayer, or just your time, feed them, get them back moving again. And the last one is to run alongside your brother. You know, Jared has shared this before, but you know, as I've been on these runs, and I have run with Frank and I've run with several other guys in here, I've never looked at it so much as a time thing or what I'm going to win out of the thing. The best times that I've ever had is running alongside these guys and fellowshipping and praying. Now, we may be running on a trail, but it'd be no different if you guys, you know, are taking time to go to a baseball game or whatever it is that you guys enjoy to do. Take your brother along the journey with you so you guys can share that time together. Because it's in that time that we make a connection with one another and we can kind of know where we're at and we can follow up with each other if things get to the place where it did for me and Jared. So Will's going to come up tonight, and I did want to skip over the most important thing. I don't know where my head's at tonight. Here's some food for us tonight. You know, in Ecclesiastes 4:10, it says, "If one falls down, his friend can help him up, but pity the man who falls and has no one to help him up. If two lie down together, they will keep warm, but how can one keep warm alone? Though one may be overpowered, two can defend themselves. A cord of 3 strands is not quickly broken." You know, guys, it's if we were meant to do this thing alone, we wouldn't be here in this room tonight. And you know, the opportunity that we have to do this thing together is what God intended for us to look like. And you know, the last thing I wanted to share, and you know, I'm going to do a little paraphrasing here, but probably a scripture that maybe you've read before. But in Mark 2, you know, it talks about how these men were carrying their paralyzed friend to Jesus. And they took him to the house, and the house was packed, much like it is tonight, and they couldn't get inside. And these guys carrying their paralyzed friend scaled the house. Not quite sure how they did it. They didn't give details on that, but I'd imagine it was pretty difficult. They got him on top of the roof, and Jesus was down at the bottom, healing people, and they lowered their friend down to Jesus' feet. You know, Jesus' words to them was this. He said, "Get up, you're healed, your sins are forgiven." It's because of their faith. And you know, I've heard that passage so many times, but when I really start to think about what Jesus was saying, he wasn't so much impressed with the paralyzed man. He was impressed with their friends that were willing to take their friend to his feet so that he could be healed. So tonight we're going to just kind of unpack that tonight at the tables and kind of share. Will's got some questions he's going to go over with you guys.
Somewhere. All right, guys. Listening to Joe and Jared's experience, what part of the story stood out to you the most? There was a whole bunch of principles in there tonight. You know, watching the guy's feet in front of you. Are you the guy running back the trail? Are you the guy that someone's coming to? What about the story really resonated with you right now? And how does that relate with you right now in your own personal relationship with God? And some of the principles are written up here too, so if you need to cheat a little bit, check out the dry erase boards. And the second one, if you could ask God to send you a running buddy or a big brother for your spiritual race, which areas do you think you would need the most help? So if a guy came running back the trail to you, a big brother, which areas, if you could genuinely say it to a big brother, which areas in your life do you think you really need the most help with? Which areas do you need a running buddy right now? Kind of come back and feed you and walk with you and take the journey with you. And are you currently running back the trail to help a little brother? Yeah, you know, when I look at these boards up here, guys, I think actually to be a truly healthy Christ follower, I think we have to be both of these at the same time, all the time. We always need to be going back to somebody. I don't care, Duke accepted Christ here 2 weeks ago. The very next week, he brought another guy, and he gave his life to Christ. He'd only been a Christ follower for a week. Immediately started running back the trail to get other people. But at the same time, we always need someone who's been on the journey maybe just a little bit longer, or maybe has wisdom that they can give to us in certain areas that maybe we struggle with. So we need to be both of these at the same time. So are you currently doing both? Are you currently running back the trail to help your little brother? Okay? Leave the religious crap in the parking lot. 1, 2, 3, go.